Hey, what's up, everybody, man? So, trade deadline is officially over, and I have to admit, this is the most interesting active trade deadline I have ever witnessed in my life, bruh. I've seen a lot of big names get traded, a lot of key role players get traded within the last 72 hours. There are teams out there that won, and there are teams out there that's just going outside. And I'm here to tell you 5 teams that I feel like benefited the most from this trade deadline. So the first team we want to talk about is the Cleveland Cavaliers. I didn't even know my man's Kobe Altman was out here thugging like that. My man said he got a family to feed. If ain't nobody trying to help this team out with the rebuild process, I'ma mask up and take mines. And that's what he did. He went up there and he traded the Detroit Pistons, Brandon Knight, John Henson, and a second round pick for Andre Drummond. Pure rape, bruh. I don't care if Andre Drummond opts out of his contract. We shouldn't even be in a situation where he's on our roster. He shouldn't be in a Cavaliers jersey. And we should not even be sitting up here thinking, is he a good fit for the Cavs? Is he going to opt in or opt out? This shouldn't even be a discussion, bruh. Like, I understand that Andre Drummond's trade stock is not as high as it should be because he has a player option. But it's like, come on. It had to be better than that. Now, the next team I want to talk about is the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks straight up robbed the Rockets for Clint Capela simply because the Hawks did not even give the Rockets anything in a 4-team exchange. All they had to do was help the Rockets land Robert Covington, and that was no problem for them. They gave up a first-round pick that belongs to the Brooklyn Nets in the first place, and that pick is probably going to be a lottery pick. And then they give up Evan Turner, a guy that has a big contract, and he has no significance to the roster. So basically, they gave up nothing for Clint Capela. Clint Capela is a 14-14 guy, and he gives the Hawks a boost with pick and roll, which is something Trae Young and other guys are going to benefit off of. And Clint Capela can do some dirty work in the paint, and he has potential to be even better than what he is. The Atlanta Hawks receive a big W, and that man's Clint Capela is locked up under contract. Next, I want to talk about the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat were able to bring in 2 solid role players, Iguadola and Jay Crowder. And the reason why this is a big win because they gave up Waiters, Justice Winslow, and James Johnson. If you've been paying attention to the Heat's roster, the Heat's success this season has come without Waiters and Justice Winslow in the rotation, man. And James Johnson is just another guy, an average Joe. He's extremely replaceable. So this is a trade that makes very much sense for the Miami Heat. It's an automatic W. And on top of that, they dumped $28 million in cap space for next year. What a great trade for the Miami Heat. The next team I want to talk about is the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors just made a great move that a lot of people are seriously underestimating. It was obvious that the Warriors were going to trade D'Angelo Russell eventually, and they cashed in by swapping him, Jacob Evans, and Amari Spellman for Andrew Wiggins, a 2021 first-round protected pick, and a second-round pick as well. This is a huge W because the Golden State Warriors needed a small forward, and now they got Wiggins, who has been balling this year, believe it or not. Wiggins also gives the Warriors their old look before acquiring KD when they had success with Harrison Barnes running the small forward. I know that Andrew Wiggins is not that good off the ball. He's not really that good of a shooter, but he is capable of shooting the ball. And on top of that, this man is still young. And even though he may not be a good shooter or good of a shooter that Harrison Barnes was, he's a better slasher on top of that. Then you gotta look at it like this. Even on top of them getting Wiggins, they get a pick that is only top 3 protected. The Minnesota Timberwolves, they just put themselves in a bad situation because if they just don't skyrocket to the top of the West next season, which they probably won't, it just is what it is, this team is going to be set back a year from that pick. And guess who's going to benefit off that? The Golden State Warriors. Do they want to draft somebody for their future? Or do they want to trade in, get some more guys? You know how Golden State be. Golden State just came up big and people do not realize it. Now, the last team I want to talk about is the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, as far as the Wiggins D'Angelo Russell trade, like I was just talking about, I think that the first round pick was a little bit too much to give up. But when you talk about what they brought in the whole trade deadline, it's a W. Think about it. They brought in Malik Beasley, a good young shooting guard that was a good role player for the Denver Nuggets. They just couldn't afford to keep him. Guess who can afford to keep him? The Minnesota Timberwolves. They're going to pay him and they're going to develop that man up, and we don't know what his ceiling is going to be. Then on top of that, they also got a lottery pick from the Atlanta Hawks via the Brooklyn Nets. And they get some role players such as Amari Spillman. They get to develop him. He's only a second-year player. They get Jacob Evans. There are other teams out there that have big W's, whatever his name is. And they get another guy too. And other teams, but and they got James. These Johnson. Are just James my Johnson personal teams that I feel like one of the biggest during the trade deadline. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Let me know some teams that you think probably won better. Let me know what you would like to see. Let me know where these teams stand. Let me know everything. Like, comment, subscribe. I got more content coming soon.